All right, what's going on, guys? It is now Wednesday, August 16th, and this is today's trade review. We took a loss, a $269 loss on the day, technically 4 trades, but really it was three. Maybe even you can classify it closer to 2, but I took some smaller losses in there. Am I happy with the day? Definitely not, but we're going to unpack it and we're going to try to learn from this one going forward. So the first trade was AMD. Next were IWM. The reason why I took a second trade was because I thought I misjudged my risk and my stop out point. I was kind of right, but you'll see it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter either way. Nvidia was really like a very small size trade. I'm not even going to bother with that one. It was just a worse. It was almost like a hedge in case the market like rocketed up at the end of the day after the FOMC minutes from like last month came out today. But let's start with AMD. We took this one at 11:17 a.m. I was busy today. I had a call at 11:30 actually, and I was not planning to take any trades. However, I just happened to be peeking at the charts, as I can't help myself during the day, as technically I always am. Even if I'm doing other work, I'll have something up just to check in. And what did AMD do? It literally gave me like a perfect setup. It was more of like a wedge, if you will. We had essentially lower highs below the VWAP, and then we had this uptrending kind of higher lows, but in a bigger picture downtrend on AMD down under 110, gets close to the recent lows. That's weak. I'll take that short every time. This short should have worked. I mean, look at the move, right? You got the move. Like this move occurred from the breakdown 108 down to about 106. So it was a dollar move. But in grand scheme of things, a dollar? Like, are we going to fuck around? Like a dollar? Like, come on, you know? So I ended up, it's less than 1% on AMD, which is not bad. But I like to look for decent chunky moves, and the percent generally will do it. And it would have, if I played this week expirations. I played next week, maybe because of contracts, because of NVIDIA earnings are kind of juiced up for whatever reason. They didn't move as clean. Maybe that has something to do with it, but I only took the trade here. So I had marked off low of the day, and I have traded these in the past where I try to trade trend breakdown. I don't like doing this because I always get faked out on those more often than not. So I like to wait for a low of the day break on this. Effectively, it's going to be the same type of move. If the pattern ends up working, it should work. So that means I could have taken a position here. I did not. I was actually not. I think I was walking the dog. Actually, I was walking Honey at that time, literally. And then we back tested. I was like, okay, great. Good thing I didn't take that because that's just kind of faking us out. It's chopping. And then it started to come back down. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? If this back test ends up just being a back test and we break these lows, I'll get in. And that was essentially a double bottom break. And so that's when I got in right here. Got a little push our way. Whoop, immediately stopped us out. Or not immediately, but shortly after stopped us out. So this one was one where we had it, but like we didn't. The idea was there. Pattern was kind of there. The execution wasn't the best. And maybe I could have just avoided it. You know, I want to go back to SPY though really quick to see what SPY was doing around the same time, just to kind of see if I have anything that I can mess with. No, this is honestly a fine trade because at that exact time, SPY was selling off and SPY sold off until about 11:30. Then it had a little bounce. I went to new lows. So the trend on SPY was there. It just didn't work the way I want it to work. And that's really all I can say. And we didn't even go to new lows of the day towards the close, but AMD had some relative strength after that bounce at around 11:15 a.m. It pretty much like snapped back up for a decent chunk of the afternoon. Then it sold off to the end of the day, but it didn't really go to lows until after hours. So you had a situation where, you know, all boxes are getting checked. You're in the weakest stock. You have a pattern that sets up your way. You're near relative lows. The overall market's trending your direction, right? The overall market hasn't made a massive move. If SPY was just knifing straight down and AMD is now just barely breaking low of the day, and SPY had been knifing down for like 20 minutes straight, that's concerning because eventually SPY is going to bounce and, you're kind of late to the party there. That's showing you that you don't have the same relative weakness that you thought you had or you were looking for. So all things aligned, and you had a stock that was one of the weakest that just all of a sudden saw strength. Not much you can do. There's just not much you can do about that. The next trade was IWM. This one, I have to catch myself though here, because I will say that we are definitely a little bit kind of fighting this thing in this market in general. And that's not good, because I have to catch myself now. And these videos, that's the point of these videos. Here's why. So IWM pushes down towards this 186.50. Okay, bounces up, kind of puts in a lower high. It's below VWAP. The only concern, it's weak. It's weaker than the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow. Great. Concern here is the nature of the moves. Okay, this move was a low. We broke low of the day by a little bit, then bounced back up, then came down. Okay. This is where the games get played. So when you have a structure like that, sure, if you play the momentum, number one, you have to understand that, hey, if you buy into low of the day or you sell or short low of the day as we break it, understand that the pattern has been, this is something I did not think about enough, that has been break lows, then bounce. Now, I was like, okay, break lows, then bounce. As long as we stay under these highs, we're good. What'd it do? What'd it do? Just a touch. Just a touch. Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. So again, same thing here is, or a recurring theme, I think, of this past week, 2 weeks, this month right now for me, is that price or chop precedes chop until it doesn't, right? And so, yes, we're trending down. Yes. But if we're shorting at low of the day, these are environments that you think, how do you lose? You were shorting. You had the right idea, but the setup just didn't work to my strategy. And that's totally fine. It's not going to all the time. So I got to be a little bit more cognizant of that and understand that, hey, you know what? Like maybe, these are avoids. These are avoids. But go to the larger time frames on this IWM, and I see a 30-minute chart where we had a nice move down, consolidation. As we broke that low, I want to get in. That's a 30-minute level I want to break, and then it stopped me out. So on the bigger time frames, I like to look. It just didn't work. Simple as that. So bring it back. Let's talk about this for a second. It's kind of the same thing. It's chop precedes chop. That's what my biggest note here that it needs to just simply write is literally chop precedes chop. Okay? Until it doesn't. But when we have that, you can't make an assumption that all of a sudden we're going to get insane momentum if, right, we're just kind of slowly chopping our way down. So that's what I've got for this trade review. We're down 134 on the week now. Not bad. Not great. It's the same thing though, win rate is shit. 3 winners, 6 losers, 1 break even, What I say is this though, I have to trade through this month, because if I don't, I won't have the data and I won't have the lessons of trading my strategy in a choppy environment. So when all of a sudden things are aligning and we're nailing it, like there was a period in July where I was literally like, I can't lose. I was like, for a week straight, I could not lose. This is how it was. Now it's like I can't win. Literally, I feel like I can't win. But it is what it is. That's the trade update for today. I will keep posting these guys as we come in, as I have them. And probably better off to not trade now. Maybe there's momentum now to the downside. Now, because today we had a nice sell-off at the end of the day. Maybe we get some more momentum. Maybe not. We shall see. I'll have the next one out for you. This platform is TradeZella. I'll link it up down below if you want to check it out, like usual. But there you guys have it. Hope this one helps. Peace.